With summer right around the corner and people itching to get out into the world of socializing, which actually I think is a little overhyped in my opinion, and car stuff again, people are actually getting ready to go run around the laps and do some good old track days or parking lots. Eating cones is fun too. One of the first things most people have a tendency to look at is tires, followed closely behind by suspension, okay? And then finally wheels. But what wheels should you actually get? Is Enki actually the wheel to buy because everyone and their mother Susan has them on their Miata and other small coupes? Do forged wheels actually help you around the track when it's your first time, or should you just focus on hitting the apex of that turn? Spoiler alert, you should just be focused on getting better at driving, okay? I'm just gonna tell you right now. It just helps out everyone. I've realized that there's a lot of things I could improve on the old. Anyway, not everything can be fixed with money. It's a simple mistake, and we're here to help you a little bit with that once you start dialing in the old track setup. I'm Alex, alex.fi on Instagram, and today we're gonna be talking about the top 5 underrated wheels for the tracker autocross event near you. And if you're just jumping into a Fitment Industries video, hola, don't forget to subscribe, and I know that you might be scared of pressing that little red button, but it would be nice if you did. And if you're looking for aftermarket circle boys, also known as wheels, rubber stoppers, also known as tires, or spring things, also known as suspension, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com for your newly acquired track car, or maybe you just want some neat boys for your Subaru. We don't judge. Anyway, let's jump into this bad boy. When looking at track wheels, we wanted to make these a little unique, less typical than just the RPF1. RPF1, 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 RPF1. Let me just say it a couple more times. RPF1, RPF1, RPF1. We get it. All right. Besides the DDS of wheels, let's look at some other options for your track or track-inspired car. First and foremost, we have the Conse Roku. Now, Conse is a newer brand that we've talked about in the past, and nearly their whole brand has been about making some decent looking wheels that can be used around the track without much fuss. Now, most people know Conse for the KNP, that big blocky 5-spoke that they've got going on. And while that's a great wheel, we actually really love the Roku as well. It's a flow-formed wheel, which means it's got the good old forged, oh gosh, coffee's coming up. It's got the good old forged barrel, and it's got a cast face, which means it's a lighter weight wheel, and it still looks banging on just about anything. Now, another reason people like the Roku is because it's not too crazy, but somewhat unique in its own way. Conse has a lot of their designs that come from older JDM style stuff, and it comes in solid sizes and isn't like every other wheel out there. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, go check out the Roku. Then you have 1552, who's no stranger to making crazier wheels that go on crazier cars, like Ken Block and Gymkhana and other fancy words like that. The one wheel by 1552 that we really like is the Holeshot RSR. It's like a flow-formed wheel that resembles a pretty OG style design with some quirks that truly make it a 1552 wheel. One of my favorite things about this wheel though, on top of its brake clearance and design, is little center rings that come with it. They will include it in your order and feature little directional arrows to align with your directional tires. That way, if you're pulling wheels off at the track or otherwise, you know which wheel came from which side of the car. It actually is super duper nice if you are running multiple setups at the track and you are burning through tires. It's a small detail, but those small details help tremendously from you making a simple mistake on or off the track. Now, the Holeshot RSR is also a newer wheel design, so I think if you're looking for something that's new and fresh, that's probably one that you'd want to go take a look at. Now, next up would be a brand we don't hear much about in the current scene, but is still improving and producing the occasional bangers, and that would be the TSW Paddock. The TSW names all their stuff after race turns, race tracks, and different things at the racing circuit. Now, TSW was one of the first companies to come out with rotary forged in the USA, and they've crushed staggered fitments for decades. The TSW Paddock is a wheel that was made for the track and is pretty underrated, as not many people know it was even released. Now, it's got the big brake clearance, it's lightweight and 18s, right about 21-ish pounds, and not a bad looking wheel by any sense of the word. It is a little bit pricier, but definitely a solid wheel that wouldn't let you down while you skit scat pop around the track. Now, our goal here is to literally only help to make sure when you screw up at the track, you can blame no one but yourself, and getting a strong rotary forged wheel that helps you and keeps it lightweight while you're underneath your butt, it just makes it your fault, all right? Ain't no wheel's gonna fix that turn 14 entrance, Gerald, okay? You just need to stop thinking about those 9-year-old brakes that are gonna stop you at $160. That's what you probably need to fix. But if you're looking for something that can give you a little bit more customization than other wheels, is special built for people like you and people like me, probably one of my favorite wheels out there at the track that I would recommend, or that we would recommend, would definitely be one of the Forgestar F14s. Now, it does cost a couple $2-3 more, but I would honestly say it's almost worth it. Now, they come in any color, any size, practically any width, are lightweight as hell, and are built for those with function in mind, like almost exclusively functionality. Now, I like their designs, and while they can be a little boring to some people, their finishes are super solid, and you never really have to worry about running a second set of wheels on the street versus on the track, because the F14s look super good. And they look good in almost all applications. And yeah, it's $1 or $2 more, but it's definitely worth it for those that want to have the unique sizes, like a Corvette, or maybe a G6, or maybe an Alpha, because they all have funky sizes. And lastly, to end on a more budget-friendly wheel, if you're looking for something that's gonna get the job done but not take the rest of the dollars out of your pocket, we take you over to the ESR RF2. Now, the RF2 is a simple designed wheel that is flow form just like the rest, makes it a little bit lighter and a little bit stronger, but the biggest pro here is that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. It comes in some decent finishes and some good sizes. And to be honest, track days will result in your wheels meeting something that it's not supposed to, like asphalt around a hard turn because you have low profile tires, or maybe it even meets a wall by accident. These things happen, and spending a lot of money on wheels with fears of them getting damaged can ultimately leave you driving a little bit like maybe a little bit too conservative. So you want to get something that you're okay with using and abusing, and the RF2s can do that, especially when it comes down to your wallet as well. The RF2s are a big brake clearance style wheel. They come in decent sizes, decent finishes, they aren't too expensive, and they're gonna get the job done. But who knows, maybe you just gotta get a racing simulator because we're gonna be stuck inside for the rest of our lives, because 2020 has been one heyday of a year so far, but it's gonna be okay. It's almost over. Anyway, drop a comment on what you'd like to see us talk about next, and if you're looking for aftermarket wheels, tires, or suspension, be sure to check us out over at fitmentindustries.com, where we literally have everything. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. We will see you guys later. Peace.